this is we'll be discussing introduction of political science, but we have discussed about first part, and we'll be discussing the second part. So in the first part, we have discussed about the meaning of political science, this about politics, or like appropriate meaning for the political science, or like and even the scope of political science. So in this second part, we'll be dealing with political meaning and scope of political theory, the scope of political theory, and the importance of political theory. So before we move on to this political theory, let me give you a simple meaning of a political theory. Like, the meaning of political theory is derived from the Greek word theoria, which means contemplation or speculation. So contemplation means to think about something, or like speculation means to guess why something has happened or what will happen without knowing the fact. And like the political theory is primarily referred to public or concerned with what is common to the whole community. And this political theory, it studies, it involves an analytical study of ideas and doctrine that relate to political phenomena and political institution. And like say this political theory, it examines questions such as how should society organized, or why do we need government, or like what is the form of government, or does law limit our freedom, or what does the state owe its citizens. Not only that, but it also evaluates and examines on what do we owe each other as citizens. And political theory carefully examines examine questions of this kind, and systematically thinks about the values that includes, that inform political life, such as values such as freedom, equality, and justice. And political theory, it explains the meaning and significance of this and other related concepts. It clarifies the existing definition of the concept by focusing on some political thinkers of the past and the present, like Aristotle, like Plato, to the present context, like Jeremy Bentham. Not only that, but from the past to the present. And see, the scope of political theory. Why do we need to study political theory? The question is, why do we need to study political theory? See, we might have ideas about political science, or like politics, but we need to have this the knowledge of political theory, because see, if we look around us, what we see is, it is a what we see is it will be movement, changes, and development. But if we look in the deeper, if we look deeper, we would also see certain values and ideas and principles that have inspired and guided people throughout, and that is Constitution. See, the Constitution was not, it is not just a document which came just overnight, but they were based upon the principle of ideas, and they were built upon the upon the ideas and principles. And why this constitutionalism was formulated, or was given a greater emphasis, and the political theory with this field is because the Constitution determined the form of government and the power exercised by the various organs of government, and also the Constitution itself is the soul of the land, and it embodies the hopes, fear, and aspiration of the people. And the scope of political science, political theory, also deals with the form of government. See, it is not we are not talking about the recent form of government, or like we are not talking about the recent studies of the organs of government, but from the ancient like political thinkers like Plato and Aristotle. See, they used to discuss with their student when they were having class. They they used to have discussion with their student whether monarchy or democracy, like democratic form of government would be a better form of government. So political theory gives a careful examination on the forms of government, because the forms of government are going to decide the future of the country. And the forms of government might be monarchy, it might be aristocracy, parliamentary form of government, presidential form of government, or like democratic form of government, or federalism, and so on. Even political theories deals with the rule of law and judicial independence. It probes the significance of principles such as rule of law, separation of power and judicial review, etc. So rule of law, it means the rule of the people by law alone, and no one is above the law. And the second is judicial, like separation of powers, that is independence of judiciary. See, the judiciary should be separated from executive and legislative, because if they interfere, it is the independence of judiciary is no more. But when the judiciary is separated from legislative and executive, their decision would be would be appropriate and without the interference of others. And that is why it also carefully examines on the rule of law and the independence of judiciary. And like Rousseau, the condition of freedom and equality and justice. Like Rousseau, he first argued for freedom as a fundamental right of humankind. Karl Marx also argued that equality was as crucial as freedom. And even Dr. Ambedkar, Bhimrao Ambedkar, he says that the scheduled caste should be given a status of minority, so that in the society everyone can enjoy that equal opportunity. So political theory also deals with the forms of government, but also it also mainly deals with the philosophy and new rights. That is, freedom is enshrined in the Constitution and is guaranteed in our Constitution, yet we encounter new interpretation in the changing society. And the Constitution are continually being reinterpreted in response to new circumstances. Like, for instance, the right to life has been interpreted by the court to include the right to livelihood, and societies frequently encounter new challenges which generate new interpretation. That means, the political theory, it also carefully examines on the new rights that are being included in the societies according to the changing circumstances of the society. And to sum up this scope of political theory, political theory, it extends both to the state and government, plus it also deals with the political philosophy such as justice, freedom, equality, and so on. And why do we need to study political theory, or what is the importance of political theory? See, we may have political ideas, and we may know what politics is, but we need to study political theory because it is useful for to life in general science. See, in our lower section, we used to study about mathematics. So we study mathematics we didn't study mathematics in order to become a mathematician or arithmetic, but we learn so that it will be useful in general. So this political theory is also talking about that kind of things. Like we need to study political theory, or we need to know about the gist of political theory, so that things will become useful to us in general. And see, the political theory, it not only deals with the forms of government, the political philosophy, but it also gives us the rights. Not only that, but this political theory also resolves the problems. How? Because political theory consists of subjects like of various academic disciplines like sociology, history, like ethics, and many others, etc. So when one subject is dealing with various academic disciplines, it can resolve our problems. And the next is this political theory give us the knowledge of our rights. How they give us the knowledge of our rights is, like we are the citizens of the society, and like every citizens are entitled to vote and decide other issues. So to act responsibility, it is helpful to have a basic knowledge of what political ideas and institutions that shape the world we live in. And not only that, but see, by knowing about the scope of this political theory, or by knowing about the gist information about this political theory, we know what is our right. And not only that, but we know even our duties. So this is all about political theory dealing with our rights and duties. And political theory, see, they try to liberalize our outlook. See, we say that there is inequality, or like there is an oppressed class, but daily we encounter discrimination, be it in your families, in your society, in your colleagues, or among your colleagues, or among the society, or among the environment in which you live. So not only that, but we ourselves also have prejudice against other people who are different from us. And like if we feel oppressed, we want it redressed, and if that is delayed, we feel that violent revolution is justified. So what political theory encourages us is to do a careful evaluation of our ideas and feeling about political things, and just by looking at them more carefully, we become more moderate in our ideas and feelings. That means it liberalizes our outlooks and our ideas and even our feelings. And like political theory also remind us that politics can never provide a remedy to all ills. That means, see, we should not expect everything from the government. Like the government, they also have limitation for all of us to see, and that is why political theory also give us a reminder that politics can never fulfill all of our ills and all of our needs. And the last point is political theory also expose us a systematic thinking on justice and equality. See, like political theory, since it is examining on the various kind of issues and these things, they also, it also help individual to systematically grow in their thinking and in the reasoning powers of the minds of individuals. So like this political theory, when it focuses on the reasoning of the minds, it also polish our opinions and argue in an informed manner and for the sake of common interest. Like a society, according to these fascist and Nazi rulers, they built a society according to their needs. That is, like the rulers being the leader is an ever right. And not only that, but international peace is a coward dream, and imperialism is the internal law of life. So this is all about the scope of political science, political theory. And the political theory, as we have mentioned here, we have mentioned all about this, the scope of political theory, the meaning of political theory, and why do we study, and how do we, and what do we study in political theory. We have discussed these things, and when we compile together, like political theory is a combination of various academic disciplines. This is the end of the second part, and we'll continue third part in our next class.